Okay, so since we're talking about appliance load in this section, we do have a code article for that. Much like anything else, we've got 22053. There's a code for that, right? Reads this way. Appliance load, dwelling units. 22053 applying a demand factor of 75% to the nameplate rating load of 4 or more appliances rated quarter horsepower or greater, 500 watts or greater, that are fastened in place and are served by the same feeder or service in a one family, two family, or multifamily dwelling shall be permitted. Okay, this demand factor shall not apply to the following. Shall not apply to household electric cooking equipment, clothes dryers, space heating equipment, air conditioning equipment, or EVSEs. Why? Because we're already adding those in elsewhere in the calculation. Okay, so if we've got all those appliances in, realistically, they're probably not all going to be going at the same time, right? So we get a little bit of a reduction. 75%. So when we're talking a question like this, the only thing we really need to concern ourselves about is the fact that they're asking for line and neutral. Okay, so any load is going to apply to the line, but a neutral load will only be utilizing the neutral. So 120 volt lines will apply for the neutral, and we can omit those for the 240 volt loads. Okay, so let's add them all up. I'm just going to add up all these numbers, and I'm going to take note of the fact that the water heater is 240 volts, so I won't be using it in my neutral calculation. Okay, so let's just punch them in. 4,000 plus, what do I got? 1,300. Okay, I've got 1,100. I've got 950 for that trash compactor. Ooh, must be nice, Mr. Fancy Pants. And 1176 for the attic fan. 8526. So I'm going to do line here, because that's adding all of them up, and my total is 8526. Now, I do have 4 or more appliances that are fastened in place, so I do get a 75% reduction. So I'm just going to multiply that by 0.75. Okay, let's punch her in. Times 0.75 equals 6395. 6394.5. 6394.5. Let's talk about that 0.5 for a second. This is a good time to talk about it, as good a time as any. Let's talk about the fractions of an ampere rule. Okay, that's going to live a little bit farther back in Article 220, I think it's 220.5, where we're talking about when we can and can't drop fractions of an ampere. And it's a good one to remember. You won't necessarily need to know the location, but you'll maybe need to know the rule. Okay, 220.5b says calculations shall be permitted to be rounded to the nearest whole ampere with decimal fractions smaller than 0.5 dropped. Okay, in this case, that means we'll go up to the next one. Okay, we'll go up to 6395. But if we had been less than that, at 0.4 perhaps, we could just drop that off. Okay, and that lives in 220.5. Cool. So we will be at 6395. What that immediately does for us is it says, hey, A or B, that's got to be correct. C and D, just get them out of our face. Okay, process of elimination there. Okay, now for the neutral, calculation looks exactly the same, right? I'm just going to take off this 4,000 VA for the water heater because it's 240 volt. It's not utilizing the neutral. Okay, so I'm going to take that 8526 and I'm just going to subtract 4,000. I probably didn't need a calculator for that, but I used it anyway. 4526, and then I'm going to apply that 75% again. Okay, let's just punch it out. Times 0.75 equals 3394. 3394.5. Oh, 0.5. But remember, I can round that up, right? 3395. Okay. 3395. Looks like A is the unit. Okay. Pretty straightforward there. Pretty straightforward. Is it coming back?